Academy of Art University's K-Art News is next. Coming up, the growing problem you face every time you park your car in San Francisco.
The controversy over a new type of tobacco that seems to be aimed at enticing kids.
Simplifying your life will show you the word of online grocery shopping.
And you'll meet a Bay Area musician who's spreading his message of peace and justice. All that coming up on K-Art News. Hi there, thanks for joining us at Academy of Art University's K-Art News. I'm Bailey Morgan.
And I'm Greg Ivory. Here's what we're working on. 6 people were stabbed during a quinceañera Saturday night in Madison, a town 11 miles west of Woodland. The mass stabbing happened around 10:30 p.m. during a private party at the Madison Town Hall. The 6 victims injured in the stabbing believed to have non-life-threatening injuries. A suspect has been arrested and name is not being yet released by the sheriff's office at this time. A fatal shooting at the annual ZombieCon in Florida left 1 person dead and 5 injured. The shooting happened just 15 minutes before the event was supposed to end. A suspect has not been identified, but authorities are hopeful that they will find a shooter due to all the witnesses at the event.
Car theft is on the rise. Locking your door just doesn't seem to be enough. K-Art News reporter Alex Walsh has more on the story.
According to the San Francisco Chronicle, 2014 saw a 14% increase in total car thefts in the Bay Area. As of September 1st in 2015, that number has increased a further 10%. If the trend continues, up to 7,600 cars and trucks may be reported stolen by the end of the year, the highest number in over a decade.
So basically, earlier in the year, I had my car parked over on the main street, and I woke up in the morning on like a Tuesday to go to class, and then I find all this glass where my car was, and I look around and it's gone.
Daniel, who lives in the Sunset District, was a victim of car theft in March when his car was broken into and stolen overnight.
Yeah, about a week later, the cops found it. I had my camera and my laptop in it too, and all that was gone, but they found it about a week later in the Tenderloin.
According to San Francisco police, criminals are only stealing cars for days or weeks at a time. They want to use it for criminal activity rather than keep them for themselves. In the Mission District alone, over 500 cars and motorcycles have been reported stolen. Due to the high price of leaving your car in a parking complex, commuters and civilians have to leave their cars on the streets, leaving them more at risk to theft. While theft is up in the Bay Area, it isn't as high as it has been in the past. 1992 saw the highest number of thefts, which decreased until 2001, before decreasing again in 2005.
I haven't had my car stolen or anything like that, but they do break the windows and pilfer through your car and stuff like that.
Cars are simply becoming harder to steal. With newer, state-of-the-art technology being implemented in newer models of automobiles, more thieves are being deterred. However, owners who have older cars can still stick to anti-theft options that work. Steering wheel locks are still very commonly used by drivers who park on public streets.
The rod, no. I figured lock my car is good, but apparently it's not.
From the streets of San Francisco, I'm Alex Walsh for the Academy of Arts, K-Art News.
Police are warning people not to leave possessions in their cars. They're still trying to figure out how a man died. He was found floating in the waters off of Alcatraz. The unidentified male was picked up by the SFPD Sunday afternoon. His body is at the San Francisco Medical Examiner's Office. Now they have to try and find more information.
Many Republicans still look to Paul Ryan for Speaker posts. House Republicans are anxiously awaiting for Paul Ryan's decision. Mr. Ryan is among the favorite many Republicans' colleagues, even though Mr. Ryan has been criticized by far right pundits on issues like his 2008 vote to bail out large banks. His long-standing interest in immigration, Republicans still look for Mr. Ryan to replace Speaker John Boehner.
Well, it looks like there's one less Democrat presidential candidate. Jim Webb announced his withdrawal from presidency on Tuesday. He explained to the public that he believes that his voice was not being heard. Specifically, he complained about not being given the time to speak, especially during the last debate. He also wasn't happy with the party's strategies and limited exposure that he got. Webb's withdrawal leaves the remaining candidates of Clinton, Sanders, O'Malley, and Chafee in the race. Canada is finally welcoming a change after being led by the Conservative Party for 4 consecutive years. The Liberal Party wins a majority government, capturing 184 seats with their new leader, Justin Trudeau. The Liberals dominated the Atlantic, taking 32 seats. The Conservatives will now lead the opposition. Trudeau led his victory speech with, "In Canada, better is always possible." He is the son of former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
SeaWorld Entertainment is ready for a legal battle with the California Coastal Commission. The San Diego theme park wants to display tank killer whales. However, the California Coastal Commission says the tank can be built, but not to breed the whales. SeaWorld CEO claims that the commission is going beyond its jurisdiction with the ban. It remains unclear if SeaWorld will be successful in fighting the decision. The early signs of El Nino are already being seen in Southern California. People in the city of Oxnard found a highly venomous yellow-bellied sea snake on the beach last week. Normally, yellow-bellied sea snakes stay in the warmer areas of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. This year, El Nino is shifting much of that warm water to the north. It brings the snakes to the California coast. If you see a yellow-bellied sea snake, authorities ask that you don't touch it, but report it. Smoking cigarettes is going out of style, but a new flavored tobacco trend is catching the attention of youth. Brett Adami has more on the story.
Today, tobacco companies found a new method of smoking using an e-cigarette, hookah, or other forms such as chewing tobacco. In 2009, the FDA banned the use of flavors in regular cigarettes so that the younger crowd would not be as interested.
Vapes are more and more common in high school, in the classroom. I've had students that have tried to use vapes in the classroom, and they think that because it's not a cigarette, it's tolerable and that should be allowed. And I feel like with the younger kids, they're on the hype of trying to use them because they think it makes them look cool and they feel like older kids. And it's not necessarily a cigarette, but they don't really know the side effects or how dangerous it can be to use them.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, around 70% of middle school and high school kids have reported to use tobacco and are more attracted to the variety of flavors that they offer. Tobacco companies are targeting the youth with flavors ranging from watermelon to cotton candy to gummy bear and many, many more. According to the CDC and FDA, there is a huge concern about these products because they seem like a safer alternative than cigarettes because of the desirable flavors, but in fact they are not. These tobacco products contain nicotine, which is known to be very addictive. Other chemicals are also found in them, including formaldehyde, making them unhealthy for people to use, especially the youth. In 1987, the United States Environmental Protection Agency classified formaldehyde as a human carcinogen, and exposure is known to cause certain types of cancer. In San Francisco, I'm Brett Adami with Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
The CDC has found that smoking is one of the main causes of cancer, heart disease, and stroke. Fruity flavors in these tobacco products do not make them safer.
Uber is now following the trends of delivering items such as grocery, clothes, and flowers to customers at any location. The Uber CEO made the announcement on Wednesday, stating, "If you can get it in a car, get a car in 5 minutes. We can get you anything in 5 minutes." Soon to be Uber Eats will be used throughout the newest network, Uber Rush, that will allow you to shop for whatever you need at any time and date. This will be released when this will be available for everybody. Grocery shopping should come easy for some, but those living in the city buying groceries online just made grocery shopping convenient. K-Art News reporter Taylor Kimber has more.
For many college students, stocking up the fridge by going to the grocery store isn't that easy.
I do most of my grocery shopping online, either on like Amazon Pantry or Amazon Fresh, or sometimes Safeway, but mostly like Instacart and Amazon.
A 2015 student survey from Statista.com showed that in 2012, shopping online was not the popular thing to do, unlike now in 2015, where 30% of all students based in San Francisco shop online for groceries. Not to mention, you can even use your smartphone to complete your shopping.
Grocery shopping just got a lot easier. All you have to do is select the store you want to shop from. You can order groceries anytime and anywhere.
But for some, online grocery shopping is not an option.
Because it's more convenient for me, and I prefer you can't buy online like meat products and stuff, and I'm a meat person. I love eating a lot of stuff, and that's most of the things I make, so yeah.
Online shopping may not work for all, but for some students, it eliminates a chore that must get done.
For me, I have like a lot of classes and I like to dedicate a lot of my time to that, and I also work as well. And so just by eliminating like the trip to the grocery store, having to go through all the aisles and having to get checked out, like it eliminates all of that.
In San Francisco, I'm Taylor Kimber for Academy of Art University's KR News.
The extra charge for grocery shopping online can range from $5 to $10, depending on your location and the store of your choice. Remember that delivery service is included, but don't forget to tip.
The Urban Knights are coming off a long week in sports. Here's Jacob Green with the latest.
Thank you, Greg. We will take a look at some preseason baseball, followed by volleyball, and wrap it all up with some soccer. So let's get started. First off, we have some preseason baseball with the 2016 Academy of Art baseball team, who has a total of 18 new artist athletes, 11 of which are transfers, and 8 are new freshmen. We throw this one out to Laney Field, where Laney Junior College takes on the Urban Knights. We started off with Cody Ball getting ready for his first appearance as an Urban Knight in the bullpen. Next up, we have Eric Luna, who is now up to bat and smacks a double up the middle, eventually scoring. The Urban Knights win this game by a score of 10-6. This team hopes to make this year better after finishing last year with a record of 8-38. Their first season game is Friday, February 5th against Cal State East Bay.
So we just finished up a scrimmage against Laney College. It was a really good experience for the whole team. Finally got to play another school. And we've been doing our inner squads and everything, but really just to see a different challenge, and that just finishing the fall strong, just getting ready for the games coming up in the spring, because it's going to be a long season.
Volleyball enters the week with a record of 2-8 in conference and faced 2 tough opponents in Dixie State and Concordia Irvine. We picked this one up here with middle blocker Safua Elisaya slamming the ball where no one is for a point for Art U. Later, we have the heavy hitter Melissa Brum firing a ball off the Concordia players, having 10 kills on the day. Art U will lose this game 3-0, but head coach Ray Balaton still has hope for this team.
I felt that our team is continuing to improve each and every game, so I'm really happy about how we're combining everything that we're working on in practice and now applying into the games. Now we've just got to figure out how to just simply do the most fundamental skills in volleyball, certainly pass late in the game.
The volleyball team later played Dixie State and fell short to their match 3-1. Their next game is at home on Friday against Point Loma. Both men's and women's soccer teams took on Dixie State this past week, where the women's team took the lead from Leigh Laudet, who sneaks by the defender and blasts a goal in the 4th minute. Now down to 2-1, it's Laura Mick who is all alone and puts the ball by the goaltender for the goal. Unfortunately, Dixie would score 2 unanswered goals and win 4-2. The men's game was all tied till the 30th minute, where Dixie took the 1-0 lead and won by this score. Head coach Mike Keller has more.
Good opponent, guys played well, good control for the first 30 minutes really, and then unfortunate goal on the turnover, and they executed a good counter really quickly on us, and then it was kind of a battle, even game. We had a few chances, but no clear ones, not enough to surely put it away.
And that is all for the sports for now. See you back next time.
Beast of No Nation is Netflix's first original film that the company has decided to release both in theaters and online on the same day. The film will be available to download in 31 countries and 30 US cities. There are mixed reviews on if this could change the movies industry. Starring in the film, Idris Elba plays a soldier in a civil war in an unnamed country in Africa, told through the eyes of a child's soldier.
Here's Giselle Prado with the latest on entertainment news.
Hey there guys, I've gathered all the exciting news that happened earlier this week, as well as updates on what to look forward to in the month of October. Let's get started. Once again spotted, El Chapo, Mexico's most wanted drug lord, was raided by Mexican policemen last Thursday, after being on the run since July. You may remember El Chapo by his viral cell footage, where he escaped through an underground tunnel. With one leg and face injury, still managed to get away. Mexico is offering $3.8 million for his arrest. R&B singer Usher and rapper Nas collaborated on Usher's debut song Chains, which included an interactive music video. Chains is a politically charged message on issues about racial profiling and police brutality. Now look, by using the webcam on the viewer's computer, this song will stop playing if you look away, forcing you to confront the people's issues head on. This will be exclusively available on Tidal. You can now watch Amy Schumer's stand-up live at the Apollo on HBO. For those of you who don't know who Amy is, she is the star and creator of Inside Amy Schumer. Amy is known for her explicit and raw jokes on body image, sex, life, and a heavy bias on male and female stereotypes. According to Marie Claire magazine, Amy is one of the funniest women in 2015. Some movies to look out for this weekend. Number 1, Suffragette. Directed by Sarah Gavin, starring Carey Mulligan, Helen Bonham Carter, and Meryl Streep. All play female-dominant roles of women during the suffrage movement in the 19th and early 20th century.
Women should not exercise judgment in political affairs.
If we allow women to vote, it will mean the loss of social structure.
Vote for women!
We will win. I take my love, take it down.
Never surrender. Never give up the fight.
In a snow-covered hill.
It's out in theaters October 23rd. Not looking for a drama, but interested in more of a comedy? Then check out Rock the Cosba, opening in theaters that same day, starring Bill Murray, Kate Hudson, and Zooey Deschanel. Let's check out the trailer.
I am Richie Lance. It's a real pleasure. Time for a crazy story. I was a rock tour manager, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to tour with my act.
To Afghanistan?
You will play in front of 2,000 horny soldiers.
I'm gonna hurl. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but I can't tell if you're vomiting or laughing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All Sanjay Patel wanted to do was watch cartoons as a kid. Sanjay Patel is the creator of Sanjay's Super Team, a new short that depicts the American struggles of a young Indian boy.
Oh no, it's the shapeshifter! It's broken out of containment. We have to stop it! Super Team, unite! Fire at will! It's taking over our power! We're being absorbed! We're doomed!
That's all we have for this week. Now you have plenty to watch and listen to this weekend. See you on our next show.
Thanks, Giselle. Up next, we have Evie, who is sitting down with Carlene Silva, the host of Paint Nights.
Thanks. I'm here with Carlene Silva, and host of Paint Nights.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So tell me, what is Paint Nights about?
So Paint Night is basically the social outing that people do when
you paint and drink. It's in different bars and restaurants. There were 2 guys in Boston who set it up. Can I continue? They went to their friend's wedding, and it was at I think it was at a gallery, and they had wine and beer. So they went home and basically like, hey, this seems like a good idea, let's start something. So they went around to different local bars and restaurants seeing if they can like host these events there. So it started in one place and it grew within like how many years? 3 or 4 years.
So how did you get involved? Like what's your
So,
inspiration to paint?
I got involved. I was working in retail for the longest, and I decided I want to do something fun. I want to see outside. So I looked online. I think it was Indeed, or it could have been Craigslist. It could have been anything. And I saw like paint instructor. So I'm like, oh, I can paint. I don't know about instructing, but then I went for it. So I emailed this woman. Her name is Helga. And I'm like, oh, she sounds really scary, but cool. So she emailed me back like, oh, send me some of your paintings that you've done. I'm like, okay, I did. I met with her in person. I found out she was a Black woman. I'm like, oh, I was not expecting that. Even though it's a weird story, but it was funny. She brought her husband on an interview, and they just talked to me like I was a friend. They're like, we like you. When can you start? I'm like, in 2 weeks. I have to give my 2 weeks notice. So I started, my first event was kind of scary. It's in a really tight room with 30 people. Wow. And I painted 2 birds on a tree. And it was super hot.
So with these events, do you need to kind of have experience? Like, I know myself, I have no experience at all in painting, but drinking, that sounds really fun.
Oh no, everyone knows how to drink.
So drinking and painting, with someone like myself, how, like, would I be comfortable going to a class? How would I, what's sort of like an icebreaker?
We make sure you're comfortable. You don't have to be an expert painter. You can literally not have never painted in your life and be able to paint. We do it step by step. We have easy to hard classes, and most of our classes, the classes I teach are usually very easy to moderate. So I do everything literally step by step as if I was teaching a kindergarten class. Because when you teach drunk adults, they're basically like children. So that's how we do it. We make sure you understand what's going on. We don't go too fast. So we have 2 hours for the class. So it's pretty simple. You can do it. Anyone can do it.
And what's typically like the cost for the event?
So the cost is $45, but we do give out coupons, which knocks off $20. So if you go to one of my events, and at the end of the class, I usually give a coupon code for those of you who want to paint again, or like give it to a friend.
And you have some of your work as well. Like,
I do.
We
I
have
did bring
one of your
some.
paintings here of the Bay Bridge. So basically, would I replicate that if I attended one of your events?
So I'd teach you step by step. This is a moderate painting, and it takes a little longer than the easy paintings because there's so many little details in the painting. So I do the background. We'll let it dry. We call it drink and dry, not drink and drive. It's kind of funny when you say it to drunk people, but drink and dry. So we let it dry for about 20 to 30 minutes for the background. Then I give people chalk when we do bridges to chalk it out, I call it.
Oh.
And it's easier to do a bridge in chalk than it is to paint because like paint is kind of weird to move around when you're trying to do really steady lines. So we give them like the little outline and they chalk it out, and then they paint over it. So their bridges come out even and not like an earthquake was happening during the painting.
So the other painting that you have, the waterfall, is that more of an easier painting?
That's a hard painting.
Okay.
It's considered hard, but I taught it 3 times and it's pretty easy. It's just a lot of like dabbing.
So where can I find more information about attending an event?
So you can go to paintnight.com, NITE.com, and look for your location, find the venue you want to paint at, the day, and buy a ticket.
Thank you so much for being here. Back to you.
Thank you, Evie. An inspired musician speaks his truth through his music. Sensei Sagit is more on the story.
Karika Bailey is spreading wisdom through his lyrics across the Bay Area. He's a talented artist with a broken past who uses his lyrics to inspire people to rise above everyday influences.
Behind
Behind these walls there lives a separate nation, a class who suffers from the trauma caused by separation. The gavel slams and families tear to different destinations. It leaves a residue.
The name is Soul Development. That's SOL, as in Source of Light Development. It's a extension of Karika Bailey and his work that started back in 2008. This is going to be a source of light. You know, we are a source of light collectively. We want to use our music to inspire change and to provide hope to those who may be feeling hopeless. We really want to also provide the soundtrack for the social movement that's currently happening right now. Police brutality has been, you know, exposed, and the loss of Trayvon Martin, the loss of Mike Brown, the loss of Eric Garner, the loss of Sean Bell. There's so many names. I think Oscar Grant, you know, here in Oakland. There's so many names that spark our music, and we just want to be that soundtrack for that movement, to fight against that, to fight against the racial profiling, I'm gonna just say it straight up, to fight against the racism that exists in America.
I know your pain runs deep, cause I can feel it. No matter how hard you try, still you can't conceal it. But nobody should ever bear that burden on their own, and no child should ever have to be torn from their home. How can we expect a tree to grow if we detach its roots? How can a child detest a lie if they ain't learned the truth? Here's my message to the youth: your memories ain't bigger than your dreams. With resiliency and faith, you can accomplish anything. And when it seems that the road ahead...
Myself, I'm a servant. I serve in the capacity of education and music. I write from a critical lens of hope, like a real hope. So a hope that also includes a vivid description of hopelessness. I believe that the two are interconnected. You can't have a conversation about hope without acknowledging the fact that for some to achieve hope, the thing that we're pushing for, we have to be able to navigate through hopelessness. So this is just hope music, truth music.
If I could fly away from you, I would go anywhere. I would do anything. I'll fly away from here, and I'll keep my head towards the sky, and I pray that God give me wings.
Karika is continuing to actively speak out against violence in his own community. He engages in rallies and protests following the deaths of Oscar Grant, Eric Garner, and Mike Brown. He has been recognized by the Sacramento Observer as one of Sacramento's top 30 professionals under the age of 30. In San Francisco, I'm Sensei Sagit for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
I am Karika Bailey. Good night. Thank you, Oakland. Thank you, First Friday. Guys.
To attend one of Carragraph's live concerts or to learn more about his message, you can check out Soul Development's social media accounts and websites.
That's it for this edition of Academy of Arts University K-Art News. Thanks everybody here for joining us. I'm Bailey Morgan.
And I'm Gregory Ivy. See you next time back here on K-Art News.